from Texas.
Okay, the public hearing of November 18th, 2025 will now please come to order at 7:12 p.m. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Broussard,
Present.
Ms. Gilchrist,
Here.
Ms. Heeman, Mr. Limpert, Mr. Madden,
Here.
Mr. Mari,
Here.
Mr. Scarl,
Present.
Mr. Shimsky.
Here.
Thank you. I'd like to remind council that our role in this public hearing is to listen to the comments from any speakers. Asking questions or providing follow-up is acceptable. However, there will be a committee meeting scheduled at a later date for more in-depth questioning. Will the clerk please read the issue before council this evening?
Ordinance 2025-92, an ordinance repealing ordinance 2017-32 and chapter 1119 of the codified ordinances of the city of North Olmsted entitled Building Permits and Certificates of Occupancy, and establishing a new chapter 1119 of the codified ordinances of the city of North Olmsted, Building Permits and Certificates of Occupancy.
Thank you. Will the Economic Development Director please give council and the audience a brief description of the issue at hand?
Yes, good evening. Thank you, Mr. President. Before I go into the substance of the legislation, I just want to take a moment to thank my colleague, Director Schofield. Our department's worked on this legislation for nearly a year. And at the crux of the issue is, if you will, a Venn diagram of the building code, the zoning code, and the fire code. The way the existing zoning code reads, there are two paths if you want to open a business. If you're a new building, like you're building from the ground up, you would get a certificate of occupancy. You submit your plans, you build the building, you get your permits, and then you get your final inspection, a certificate of occupancy, and then you're on your way. If you were operating a pizza shop that had closed and you're opening it back up as a pizza shop, the only thing you would need is a certificate of zoning compliance. That's under our existing law. Where the conflict comes in is with the fire code. So the fire code says that every building should have a valid certificate of occupancy for the person that is actually operating that business at that time. So if it went from Jennifer's Pizza Shop to Max's Pizza Shop, I would need to get a new certificate of occupancy. And so our existing code is in conflict with the fire code. And so when we go out to do fire safety inspections and things of that nature, we find that the certificate of occupancy that's on file doesn't match who's in the building. And a lot of times that presents challenges for a myriad of reasons. And so we looked at peer communities who around us, Fairview Park, Brook Park, Westlake, and others. And everyone that we could find has a certificate of occupancy, whether it's a reuse of an existing property or a brand new building. And then going back into our zoning code that was passed back in 1991, we used to do it that way. And so we feel that it's more efficient. It makes the process easier to understand, both internally and externally. In terms of implementing this, it's just modifying a workflow. So it should be very seamless to modify and implement once the legislation is adopted. With that, Mr. President, I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Council? All right, if there is anyone in the audience who would like to address council on ordinance 2025-92 only, please come to the podium, state your name and complete address for the clerk. If you live in a city other than North Olmsted, please state the name of that city and proceed with your comments. You will have up to 5 minutes. Okay, seeing no questions or comments, and with the agenda being completed, this public hearing of November 18th, 2025 is adjourned at 7:16 p.m. We're going to roll right into caucus. The caucus meeting of November 18th, 2025 will now come to order at 7:16 p.m. Present are all members of council, the clerk of council, the mayor, the directors of, the assistant law director, the directors of human resources, economic development, safety, service, recreation. I believe the finance director is walking in, chief of staff is here, and guests. If there are no additions or corrections, the caucus meeting minutes of November 5th, 2025 are approved as written. Regarding suspension, there is one item on the agenda being requested for suspension this evening. It is on first reading, Resolution 2025-110. Mayor Jones, would you like to speak about this one?
Yes, Mr. President, thank you. This resolution is asking council to allow us to enter into an agreement with the Cleveland Pops Orchestra for a concert at North Olmsted Park as part of our traditional Saturday in the Park concert series and the official ribbon cutting next year as the grand opening of our North Olmsted Community Park. And we were lucky enough to have been able to engage the Cleveland Pops Orchestra. Next year is America's 250th birthday, and as such, we wanted to really bring a traditional type feel, and thought it would be a really awesome opportunity for North Olmsted to have this world-class orchestra come and perform here and welcome everyone into the completed North Olmsted Community Park for that event. The reason that we're asking for it to be on suspension is because, as you can imagine, the Cleveland Pops Orchestra is in incredible demand, and in order to lock in this specific date, we're asking council to please consider passing this on suspension.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Are there any objections from council to suspension? Oh, Councilman Limpert.
Is there like an alternate date due to inclement weather or an inclement weather plan?
Director Pinchek.
Not at this time. Not at this time. That's something, once we enter into the contract, we can hope to get another date written up. We wanted to make sure we lock it in for the first date.
Okay, so, Mr. President.
Go
So
ahead.
just from that answer, it sounds like there's the ability to get that set up as part of the contract, but.
Correct.
It's okay. Thank you.
Okay. Moving into assigning legislation, resolutions 2025-114 and 115 will both be assigned to Building, Zoning, and Development. Resolution 2025-110, which is on suspension, is assigned to Recreation, Public Parks, and Buildings. Ordinance 2025-116, Resolution 2025-118, Ordinance 2025-119, Ordinance 2025-120, Ordinance 2025-121 are all assigned to Finance. Resolutions 2025-107, 108, and 109, as well as Ordinance 2025-117 are assigned to Streets and Transportation. Resolutions 2025-105 and 113 are assigned to Environmental Control. And resolutions 2025-106, 111, and 112 are assigned to Public Safety, Health, and Welfare. I believe that'll move us into scheduling committee meetings for next Tuesday, November 25, 2025. I believe, Councilman Scarl, you'd like to go first with scheduling a Finance Committee meeting?
Yes, I would. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right.
Finance will be November 25th, 2025. We will start at 6:30 for ordinance 2025-116, resolution 2025-118, ordinance 2025-119, 120, and 121. I'd like to start that at 6:30 until
7:15 and ask that Mayor, Finance Director, Economic Development Director, and any other designee that the mayor sees fit for those 5 items. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilman Limpert for Building, Zoning, and Development Committee meeting.
Yeah, Mr. President, I'm gonna go with 7:15 to 7:40, and that's to address 2025-114 and 115 and ordinance 2025-92, which we heard in public hearing tonight, and ask that the Economic Development Director, I would like to have the mayor there, and then any other of her designees.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Gilchrist for Streets and Transportation Committee meeting.
For streets and transportation, I'd like to meet next week from 7:40 to 8 o'clock. We'll discuss Resolution 2025-107, Resolution 2025-108, Resolution 2025-109, and Ordinance 2025-117.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
And Councilman Shimsky for Public Safety, Health, and Welfare Committee meeting.
I think the schedule for Public Safety, Health, and Welfare for 8 o'clock. So 8:20, and ask that the mayor and Public Safety Director and any other designee they see fit be present.
Thank you. Can you repeat your end time, please?
8:20.
8:20, thank you. Councilman Madden, I apologize, I inadvertently skipped over you, but we'll go with you being the last on the agenda for Environmental Control Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, I'll begin the Environmental Control Committee meeting for November 18th at 8:20, and shouldn't take long. And I request the mayor and her designees.
All right, thank you. Does anyone on council have anything else they wish to bring up this evening? Anything from the administration?
No, Mr. President.
Thank you. Seeing nothing else, the caucus meeting of November 18, 2025 is adjourned at 7:24 p.m. The council meeting of November 18th, 2025 will now please come to order at 7:30 PM. The audience is invited to join council in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Broussard,
Present.
Ms. Gilchrist,
Here.
Ms. Heeman. Here. Mr. Lippert,
Present.
Mr. Madden,
Here.
Mr. Mari,
Here.
Mr. Scarl,
Present.
Mr. Shimsky.
Here.
If there are no additions or corrections, the council meeting minutes of November 5, 2025 are approved as written. There is one item being requested for suspension this evening, and that is Resolution 2025-110, which is on first reading. Before we move into reports, on behalf of City Council, I would like to provide an update to our residents with regard to the Stearns Road development. As you are aware, a developer has made application to the city of his desire to build a development on Butternut Ridge Road, and in doing so, has the right to due process. This is being afforded in the context of the current review process. With that being said, the Director of Law has paused all proceedings with regard to this development plan to ensure a specific requirement of the code is complied with before moving forward with any additional plan review hearings. Therefore, Council has no date in the immediate future in which the preliminary site plan will be discussed. But please know that all meetings regarding this development are public meetings and will be posted in the usual manner and in accordance with the charter. The legislation for rezoning is a different procedure from site plan review. That process requires the Planning and Design Commission to report to the City Council on its recommendation within 30 days from the date that the rezoning legislation is first considered by the Commission. Failure to do so within 30 days results in an automatic favorable recommendation from the Commission, and the matter will be removed to City Council for further proceedings with that recommendation. The Council can extend that 30-day time frame with a vote to grant the Commission more time. Should Council vote on such a motion, it is not a vote on the merits of the project. Rather, it is a vote to allow for the Commission to proceed with its work as opposed to awarding an automatic recommendation for approval because this important discussion took longer than 30 days. We understand each of you have very strong opinions on this development proposal. However, Council will not have an opportunity to vote on the rezoning legislation until after it leaves the Planning and Design Commission, has a public hearing, and is reviewed by the Building, Zoning, and Development Committee of Council. Thank you for listening through that. We will now move into reports. Mayor Daley Jones, do you have a report this evening?
I do. Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the City of North Olmsted, I'd like to begin by offering our deepest condolences to the family of Laura Hoopengardner. May they find comfort in the memories they shared and strength in the support that surrounds them during this difficult time. We also wish to thank our first responders for their professionalism, compassion, and swift actions during this tragic incident. Thank you. Last week, the regularly scheduled Planning and Design Commission meeting was canceled. The applicant for the development that the council president just referenced requested that the matter be tabled until the next regularly scheduled Planning and Design Commission, which meets on December 10th at 7 p.m. I want to assure our members of council and our residents that this application is going through the process that is required for every applicant. More importantly, every applicant has the right to due process, that is to be heard by the relevant boards and commissions of the city, and ultimately for the project to have a vote by city council. As with any project, we welcome residents' feedback throughout the entire process. The Recreation Department has several exciting events that are coming up that we would love to see our council members at. The Senior Center is also back in full swing with the parking lot renovations completed, and that parking lot looks amazing. The Holiday Hangout is our city's annual holiday celebration, which will be held on Sunday, December 7th from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. at Springvale Ballroom. Families can enjoy a variety of festive activities, including a visit from Santa and more. And finally, I'm excited to welcome you all to the city's Mary Mulligan Pop-Up Bar, which is opening tomorrow at Springvale, offering Christmas cocktails, food, and fun Wednesdays through Saturdays from 5 until 11 p.m., all the way through December 27th. The only 3 days that the pop-up bar will be closed is Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, and Christmas. So I hope that you all have opportunity to come up to Springvale and share a cup of good cheer with our residents as we celebrate this holiday season here in North Olmsted. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mayor. Assistant Law Director O'Malley, do you have a report this evening?
Thank you, Mr. President. I do not.
Thank you. Director of Finance Kopfer, do you have a report this evening?
I do, Mr. President. This afternoon, the September 30th monthly summary and detailed financial reports were emailed to council. The September 30th RETA collections are also in the email. After you have had time to review them, if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact me, or we can talk about it at a finance committee meeting. After speaking with the mayor and her chief of staff, the incoming finance director, and my staff, we all agreed that it would be in the best interest of the city to push the time and attendance and advanced scheduling project that was to start next week and go through May of 26 to Q2 of 2026, so that the incoming director will be here for the entire project. Additionally, police was to be our starting department for the advanced scheduling, and their staff is busy bringing on Bay Village and Berea before the end of this year, and now they're without their IT person. The transfer ordinance before you this evening, 2025-120, uses a combination of additional revenues and a reduction of other appropriations to accomplish the needed year-end transfers. I'm sure we will discuss this in committee, but I wanted to address that top question now, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Director. Moving into council committee reports, Councilman Limpert, Chairman of the Building, Zoning, and Development Committee. Do you have a report this evening?
I do not have a report, Mr. President, but I'll need to be making a motion here shortly. If I could just make a quick moment of personal privilege.
Of course.
I also wanted to just offer condolences to a longtime North Olmsted classmate of mine, Adam Dunlap, and his family for the loss of their son. And even in time of grief, they were able to do something generous to help the community. And I think there's some news articles about that, but I just wanted to offer my condolences to him and his family and son for the loss of their son, Bryce. And then with that, I also want to make a motion to extend for ordinance 2025-100 the deadline to receive the Planning and Design Commission report on the rezoning legislation. If not extended, it's an automatic favorable recommendation. So to that end, I'd like to make a move to extend the deadline to receive the Planning and Design Commission recommendation on 2025-100, extended 30 days, and ask for a second.
Second.
Motion to extend the Planning and Design Commission's report deadline 30 days for ordinance 2025-100 is made by Councilman Limpert and seconded by Councilman Shimsky. Roll call, please.
Mr. Limpert,
Yes.
Mr. Shimsky.
Yes.
Ms. Gilchrist.
Yes.
Mr. Madden,
Yes.
Mr. Scarl,
Yes.
Ms. Heeman,
Yes.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
The Planning and Design Commission report deadline for ordinance 2025-100 is extended 30 days by a vote of 7-0. Councilwoman Heeman, Chairwoman of the Recreation, Public Parks, and Buildings Committee, do you have a report this evening?
I do not. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilman Scarl, Chairman of the Finance Committee, do you have a report this evening?
I do not, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Gilchrist, Chairwoman of the Streets and Transportation Committee, do you have a report this evening?
I do not, thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilman Madden, Chairman of the Environmental Control Committee, do you have a report this evening?
Yes, Mr. President, I do, thank you. Environmental Control Committee met this evening, November 18th, 2025, at 7 p.m. in the Caucus Room. Present were committee members Madden, Mari, and Scarl, Council President Broussard, Councilwomen Gilchrist and Heeman, and Councilman Limpert and Shimsky. From the administration present were the Assistant Law Director, the HR Director, Economic Development Director, Safety Director, Service Director, Recreation Director, a Clerk of Council, and guests. On the agenda was Resolution 2025-104, which is a resolution authorizing the city engineer to advertise for bids for the award of a contract to provide services to install a sanitary manhole with partial flume measuring device along Mackenzie Road, as detailed in the specifications on file, in the Division of Engineering, and authorizing the mayor, following approval of the Board of Control, to contract for the same with the lowest and best bidder. Mr. Brian Blum, from the superintendent from the wastewater treatment plant, explained the purpose of the measuring device to council. Presently, the sanitary water flow from Olmsted Township is estimated. The new measuring equipment is designed to give us an accurate reading on the flow to make it a more exact billing purposes. That device is going to be located just north of the Olmsted Township, North Olmsted city line on Mackenzie Road. The committee voted 3-0 to recommend the resolution 2025-104 to all of council, and the Environmental Control Committee concluded at 7:08 p.m. And that concludes my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Shimsky, Chairman of the Public Safety, Health, and Welfare Committee, do you have a report this evening?
No report this evening. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilman Mari, Chairman of the Intergovernmental Relations Committee, do you have a report this evening?
No report tonight, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any letters or communications to come before council at this time?
No, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Moving into audience participation, thank you for attending tonight's council meeting. Public comment offers the opportunity for members of the public to share information and bring issues and concern to the attention of city council members. It is not a debate, and public comment speakers should not expect a back and forth exchange. Council members, however, may ask clarifying questions of the speaker, of city staff, or fellow council members. Those attending city council meetings should show the same respect to others that they wish to have shown to them. If there is anyone in the audience who would like to address council, please come to the podium, state and spell your name and address for the clerk. If you live in a city other than North Olmsted, please state the name of that city and proceed with your comments. You will have up to 5 minutes.
My name is Marge Bartik, Bartik. My address is 31063 Lily Lane. Through the weekend of November the 7th, Rocky River Senior Center held their quilt and craft show. It included 124 quilts. that were hung all around the senior center. A beautiful display. I cannot imagine the work involved in hanging all these quilts. Then they had a very nice craft show. They had speakers there. The speaker I heard spoke about Grandma Moses. She spoke for 1 hour, which was a wonderful speech. There were luncheons. There was a concert. And all of this cost me $4. They not only have the annual quilt show, they have pages. They have 12 pages of different events that are held at the senior center. They have lessons. They have tap dancing lessons. They have guitar and so on. They have a glee club, which I'm in. They have all kinds of other lessons. They have health screenings. They have speakers there. They have concerts. They have all kinds of dancing lessons, Irish dance, and so on and so forth. 12 pages of things that are held at the Rocky River Senior Center. We have 1 page. 1 page. Nothing is done for us at the North Olmsted Senior Center, except maybe, well, there's Tai Chi, there's maybe chair yoga. That's about it. 1 page. We, who have built this city, get nothing. We are the seventh the seventh highest taxed city in this county. 7th. We who help build the city get nothing, but the children get good schools. They're building 4 baseball diamonds, 2 soccer fields. What else? They're going to have a pickleball field, a tennis field, playgrounds, splash pads, and we get nothing. I'm going to take this to the mayor, and she can see the difference between the Rocky River Senior Center and our senior center. Considering that we are the 7th highest taxed city in this county and get nothing for it, it's shameful. It really is. And that is my
Good evening. I'm Robert Sharp, SHRP of 25407 Butternut Ridge here in North Olmsted. I'm just going to take a few minutes and talk about this Stearns Row project. I understand the statement, and I do understand that they're entitled to due process, that they have to go through the process. But there's something different here. The mayor supports this project. She's recommending this zoning change take place, which in effect sacrifices everybody on the street. We've provided specific evidence through the 2025 city plan that nothing here conforms to that plan. There's nothing in that plan to justify this. We've, in response to this, we've activated our homeowners group. We're continuing to grow, and we'll keep active into the future. We're not going to back off on this whatsoever. We're posting signs, and we're gathering petition signatures. And we have so many, I haven't even counted them all yet. It's just overwhelmed. I mean, we're overwhelmed. We've ordered signs 3 times, and we're gonna run out of signs. 50 signatures were dropped off to me today from all over this city. The wishes of the residents have to mean something, besides all the documentation we provided. Andorra Drive, Revere Drive, Burns Drive, Pompton Drive, Country Club Boulevard, Lingate, Fielding Drive, Edge Park, Linwood, Bellevue, Mitchell. I could go on. We're coming across a lot of angry people. Everybody wants to sign these petitions. The petitions are going to be online now, so people can sign them, because we just can't handle all this. That's how much this is overwhelming us, trying to handle this thing. Even the media, and I did not contact the media. The media cold called to my house. I was downstairs, and my wife told me the media's at your door, so I talked to them. I did not contact the media. Even they didn't understand why this is being proposed. They said, why would you want to do that in this historic district? And that's a good question. Of all the other possibilities in this city that need attention, why the middle of the historic district? It just doesn't make sense at all. We provided the specific documented evidence to show the project is not justified or compatible with either the 2025 master plan or the historic district guidelines. I haven't given that report to council yet, but I will. So this, included with the opinion of the residents, leaves what to justify this? If we've provided documentation to show that the historic guidelines that are not compatible with this, and we've already done the master plan, what justifies this? I just don't understand it whatsoever. I'm hoping council members in the future have the fortitude to resist this zoning effort. I'm sure that that's not an easy thing here. And to protect the district and protect us personally. Everybody feels like they're being sacrificed here, because they are, if this goes forward. I have a great idea, and I don't know if it's even possible. Why doesn't, when this is over with, if possible, why doesn't the city buy the bid-off house? They're buying all the other school property. Why don't they buy the bid-off house, have a contractor come in and rehab the house according to the plan that's already approved, and then have that contractor offer the house for sale? I don't know if that's possible, but I thought, what would be a good solution here? That way the mayor would be a hero and not a villain, as she's viewed right now by many, unfortunately. And I guess that's all I have to say tonight, but I'll be back.
Good evening. My name's Ed Wiles, W-I-L-A-S, 25746 Butternut Ridge Road. I wanted to thank the President of Council, Broussard, for giving us an update. While we respect and honor the due process that's being afforded Summers Group, many Butternut Ridge residents feel that the project requiring a change in zoning in a historic district from single family to multi-family dwelling should have been a hard no from the beginning. And I feel pretty strongly about that. We bought our homes with the idea that it's a single family residential area, and to have it changed or potentially be changed is disappointing. I joke that these meetings are becoming kind of a date night for my wife and I. It seems like every week there's one or two, and you guys, thank you for being here and for listening and the due process. God bless America. I will say that the actual owner of the land that's being discussed here, and the man who's probably going to benefit the most if this were to go through, I haven't seen him at one meeting. And I've seen a lot of my neighbors, and I'm very thankful for them. People are passionate about this, and it's nice to see. And thank you.
Steve Clark, 25795 Butternut Ridge, North Homestead. Thank you for listening to us, and got a hard job. The more people that I talk with, and I get around a lot of the city, the barber shops, they're talking about it. They're saying, what's going on? We didn't even know this was happening. We had no idea, not just this area, further down. No communications. So this is where we started off scratch. And if it were, fortunately, 4 letters maybe that went out that were required by law, I guess, this would all be over. And we are passionate, and we are building. More and more people are coming aboard, and they feel the same way. They don't want the traffic. Someone said to me today, and it was just wild. They just knew where I lived, and they said, "What is the traffic going to be like there? There's not going to be 45 cars." You know, each of us know if you got any kids at all, it's generally 2 cars, you know, per location. And I'm not saying it wouldn't be beautiful and wouldn't be nice, but again, the historic side is important. And once the zoning gets changed, you know, it's going to change the complexion of everything. And we're giving up some of the roots, the reasons we moved here. I love North Olmsted. I've been here 5 years, and my wife, and we love our neighbors. I couldn't ask for better people. I guess I'm just disappointed that there wasn't communications since this began a year ago, to where the whole city's waking up and saying, we knew nothing about this. And I know it's hard, you know. The newspapers, whoever contacted them, they're still on it. TV stations, they're still on it. And it's not speaking well of North Olmsted, I might add, that we're even in that situation. One thing I'll add here, when I say nobody talks about what's going on with the Butternut Ridge deal, we got our North Olmsted News. Anybody read it? Everybody get one? Well, I don't know, it's odd, but there's nothing in here at all about what's going on here tonight. Again, it must have been by accident, I don't know. We just want to urge you to really deeply consider this. It's more than money. You're getting neighbors and people are angry. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm not. We want to be respectful to you, but we want to also clearly want you to know, you know, that we are not going to give up, as Bob said. He's done a lot of the hard work in terms of that. I just want each one of you to dig deep and realize this is becoming a full-time, part-time job, you know, being here. But I'm learning a lot. And but I want to thank all of you for listening to us.
Good evening. My name is Ann Whitney. My address is 4540 Carson Lane, off of Dover, right near Pine School. And I'm hoping we can come to a decision for Chestnut, Maple, and Pine and avoid the issues that these poor people are going through on Butternut. To be transparent and let us know what's being talked about, what's being decided, and include us in those discussions. Changes to the infrastructure, depending on what you do with those sites, could drastically affect the neighborhoods all around them. When they built all of the stores and buildings up on the extension, many homes in Pine Ridge were flooded. And because of all the concrete and pavement, they then built a huge, I don't know what you call it.
Detention basin.
Thank you. Behind Pine School, and that solved the problem. Now, if you go in and build multiple homes or whatever gets decided, you've got to take all this into account when you're deciding what to do with that property. And it doesn't always have to be more houses. Green space is good. There's a playground there now. People walk their dogs, people go there and practice sports. And you're going to take all that away if you change the zoning or whatever path you take. So I'm just here to advocate for Pine Ridge specifically, but for all the people that live near Maple and Chestnut as well, so that we don't end up in the quagmire that the people on Butternut Ridge are in.
Ma'am, I'm sorry I missed your name. I was writing down your address, but I just wanted to say that we have an ordinance on tonight's agenda. It's 2025-115. It is an ordinance that will allow us to engage a planning firm to help to start to lay out the Pine, Maple, and Chestnut school sites to do exactly what you're talking about. Speak with the residents, see what the highest and best use of the land is. Is it wet? Where does it drain? All of those sorts of things. And that'll be a year-long process where there'll be several public interactions. And so we hear you loud and clear on that. And because we are owning the land and we are the ones selling the land and prepping it for development, we're able to do that. And so we plan to do that over the next year. And so I just wanted to assure you that that is going to happen with Pine, Maple, and Chestnut, because we're the ones that own the land here in that scenario.
Excuse me, we don't typically allow speaking from the, thank you. All right, seeing no other comments from the,
My name is Donald Primish, Primosch. I live at 6064 Stafford Drive, North Homestead, Ohio, 44070. This is my sixth meeting. Mayor, everything I tell you is about the house at 6078 Stafford. It's on the south side of my house. The last meeting I went to, I told you, just sneaked it in. The trampoline in the backyard is still 2 to 3 feet from my fence. Move it 10 feet to the south on their property. It's falling apart. The rubber's gone. It's collapsing. It looks like, and I want it out of here. I want it moved. Second thing. Did you get the gas line on the property line in the front yard moved yet, Mayor? I want to put my fence up in the front yard. I have the variance, I have the permit, and I can't put the fence in till the gas line is moved. 3rd. Thursday, November 6th, this around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They came home from school and they started playing. The boy in the house is now bringing his 2 friends from the north, Somerset Drive, to this house at 6078 Stafford. 3 of them throwing the football to my property line and over onto my front yard. Remember the boy that was peeing on the siding? Now they're also doing it on the driveway. I want both of them from that house. I want both of them gone from this house. I'm going to bring this up at every meeting till they're gone. The grandmother was over. Remember the grandmother left all that trash all over the front yard? Well, she came back at 4:20 to 5:30. I had a jamming circle in the TV. You can't watch TV. TV's gone. Grabbed the dog and went outside. She was parked on the driveway right in front of the sidewalk. And the kids are all throwing the ball, so I couldn't go that way. So I had to go across the street and down. And I got her plate number. She's had this plate on there for a long time, Mayor. It's dark blue with white letters. That's not Ohio plate. The plate number is BSP4612. Run that plate and see if it's any good. She drives a dark blue Mitsubishi SUV. Let's shoot the November 7th. The boy in the house, the 2 twins we just talked about. The boy on Christmas. That's one of those kids. He's got an electric bike. I've seen him go up and down the sidewalk and on the apron. You know that. I talked at the last meeting about it. I think the 4 of them throwing the ball onto the property, over the property line, and the ball is on my property again. I forgot to show you this here. You don't have to take these pictures. I just want to show you this. When the, it's about, okay, 4 of them. Here, this is the one kid from Christmas, right here. You don't have to take these pictures. Here he is right here. I just brought these pictures in to show you that I'm not lying, okay? It's the truth. Here's that they don't want you to see the pictures, so they're jamming my cameras. They're jamming the tablet, so you don't get these pictures, but I was able to get this one. I want to back up just a little bit. I talked about those 2 twins. Here they are. Here's the tablet's being jammed again, right there. It's all blackened. You can't get it. But I was able to get it free, and I got these pictures here. But you don't have to take them. All right. Here's a good one. We got a couple more, and I'm out of here. November 8th, 3 cameras jammed on the front of the house. That was Saturday from noon o'clock to 6 o'clock. Nobody's home.
Excuse me, Mr. Premash.
I'm out?
That's 5 minutes. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, by the way, I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, sir.
Okay?
Thank you.
You too, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Premish. Mr. President,
Mayor.
I will meet with Mr. Premish and our safety director after this meeting to accept the pictures that he's brought up, and then share those through council's clerk with
Thank
you. Also, just by way of information to our council members and our residents, as part of the due process of any applicant that would come into the city requesting a zoning change, there's only 2 ways to sponsor legislation here in the city of North Olmsted to allow for that due process to be considered. That legislation has to be sponsored by a council member or the mayor of the city in order for that applicant to continue on with their due process. So sponsoring that particular piece of legislation or any zoning change does not necessarily mean that me as a person or as a representative of our city, as the city of North Olmsted, is in favor or not in favor of a development project. It simply means that, again, that's part of that due process. That's the only way that council can even consider voting for or against a zoning change is if that legislation is sponsored by someone. And finally, it was brought up that the particular development that we're speaking about that would be located off of Butternut Ridge Road has not been made aware in the public through our public newsletter. The only projects that we do bring forward in that newsletter are projects that have been vetted through City Council. So we don't, there are many, many projects that come before the city each year. Some get through the process to the point that we are now, where they're being vetted through our boards and commissions. And some never even make it that far due to many different reasons, including, for example, the applicants who are bringing them forward might not have financing, and so they've stopped pursuing those projects. But just wanted to make everyone aware of those things. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, seeing no other comments from the audience, we will now move into legislation.
Legislation on third reading, Resolution 2025-102, introduced by Mayor Jones, a resolution authorizing the mayor to purchase and finance through the Hotel Motel Fund 2025 Polaris Ranger XP 1000 utility vehicle, and further authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary to effectuate such purchase and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President,
Councilman Shimsky.
at this time I move to adopt Resolution 2025-102 and ask for a second.
A second.
Motion to adopt Resolution 2025-102 made by Councilman Shimsky, seconded by Councilwoman Heeman. Roll call, please.
Mr. Shimsky.
Yes.
Ms. Heeman.
Yes, with a comment. While this seems like an unusual item for our city to purchase, I think that it's important for everyone to understand that in expanding our dispatch center, we also then have to expand our, police, visibility, ability, and I think that this is a good item for that. It gives them a lot of flexibility and is a good component to expanding that dispatch center. Thank you.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Mr. Madden.
Yes.
Mr. Limpert.
No with comment. I think we could have probably talked about this a little bit more in our original budget when it came in, and I think there's other priorities that we should be spending on the money on, whether that be safety or something else. So, no.
Mr. Scarrow.
Yes, with comment, please. I'm voting yes. Talked with Chief Wagner and Sergeant Petro. They brought this forward for many instances where they felt this vehicle would be helpful to our officers on the road. It's not an overly expensive item. However, I want to make it clear that this vehicle will not become a part of a regular rotation of our police vehicles or new quads, and that City Council will receive quarterly reports on when this vehicle is being used and how, so that we can make informed decisions moving forward, whether or not to continue supporting purchases in the future. Thank you.
Ms. Gilchrist.
No with comment. While my support for our safety forces is unwavering, I feel this would be better considered in next year's budget hearings. I do believe that Chief Wagner and Sergeant Perino is expertise in this matters, but I still had further questions to consider. Yes.
Resolution 2025-102 is adopted by a vote of 5-2.
Legislation on second reading, Resolution 2025-104, introduced by Mayor Jones, a resolution authorizing the city engineer to advertise for bids for the award of contract to provide services to install a sanitary manhole with partial flume measuring device along Mackenzie Road as detailed in the specifications on file in the Division of Engineering, and authorizing the mayor, following approval of the Board of Control, to contract for the same with the lowest and best bidder. Legislation on first reading, Resolution 2025-105, a resolution authorizing the Director of Economic and Community Development to advertise for bids for the award of a contract to construct the Spruce Stormwater Wetlands Basin Project in accordance with the plans and specifications on file with the city engineer.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Resolution 2025-106, a resolution authorizing the mayor to purchase a Cummins diesel generator system for Fire Station 1 through the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchase Program at a cost of $119,699.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Resolution 2025-107, a resolution authorizing the city engineer to advertise for bids for the award of a contract to provide asphalt resurfacing and related repairs upon city streets is detailed in the specifications on file with the city engineer, and authorizing the mayor, following approval of the Board of Control, to contract for the same with the lowest and best bidder.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Resolution 2025-108, a resolution authorizing the city engineer to advertise for a crack ceiling on various streets in the city as per specifications on file in his office, and authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract for the same after a Board of Control approval.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Resolution 2025-109, a resolution authorizing the city engineer to advertise for bids for the award of a contract to provide new pavement markings to various streets and locations in the city as detailed in the specifications on file, and authorizing the mayor, following approval of the Board of Control, to contract for the same with the lowest and best bidder.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Resolution 2025-110, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a performance agreement with the Cleveland Pops Orchestra for a concert at North Olmsted Park as part of the Saturday in the Park concert series, and the official ribbon cutting of the North Olmsted Park renovation project, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I introduce, place on first reading, and request suspension of the rule requiring 3 readings and formal committee review.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Heeman.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings and formal committee process for 2025-110. This was heard in caucus this evening, and this agreement is for the Cleveland Pops to perform at a Saturday in the Park concert, along with the ribbon cutting for the opening of the park and our nation's 250th birthday. The Cleveland Pops perform at Playhouse Square, Blossom Music Center, and Severance Hall, and are very popular music with a classical twist. Their contract is, I'm sure their schedule is very busy, and it is important to secure the date of this popular symphonic ensemble for the enjoyment of all our residents, and I would ask for a second.
Second.
Motion to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings and formal committee review for Resolution 2025-110, made by Councilwoman Heeman, seconded by Councilman Scarl. Roll call, please.
Ms. Heeman?
Yes.
Mr. Scarl?
Yes.
Mr. Shimsky?
Yes.
Mr. Mari?
Yes.
Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Ms. Gilchrist?
Yes.
Mr. Limpert?
Yes.
That motion passes by a vote of 7-0. If there is anyone in the audience who wishes to address council regarding ordinance 2025-57, I'm sorry, 110, please approach the podium now.
Seeing none, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to adopt 2025-110 and ask for a second.
Second.
Motion to adopt resolution 2025-110 made by Councilwoman Heeman, seconded by Councilman Scarl. Roll call, please.
Ms. Heeman?
Yes, with a comment. Thank you, Mayor. I am a fan of John Philip Sousa.
Mr. Scarl?
Yes.
Ms. Gilchrist?
Yes.
Mr. Mari?
Yes.
Mr. Limpert?
Yes, with comment, I'm looking forward also to hear about the other ideas that we're looking to do with the park opening, and it sounds like we're doing some exciting things. So,
Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Mr. Shimsky?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-110 is adopted by a vote of 7-0.
Resolution 2025-111, a resolution authorizing the purchase and installation of a replacement video surveillance system server from Technology Install Partners LLC at a cost of $12,043.29, and further authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary to make this purchase and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Resolution 2025-112, a resolution authorizing the purchase and installation of a fire alarm and fire suppression system in the North Olmsted Police Department through the state purchase program from SA Communal at a total cost of $106,500, and further authorizing the mayor, following approval of the Board of Control, to execute all documents necessary to make the purchase.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Resolution 2025-113, a resolution authorizing the lease and expenditure of existing funds for 3 Flock Condor cameras and 1 Falcon camera for $21,250.02 to be installed at the wastewater treatment plant, and further authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary to effectuate such transaction.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Resolution 2025-114, a resolution authorizing the Director of Economic and Community Development to solicit statements of qualifications for professional services and for an audit of the City of North Olmsted zoning code.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Resolution 2025-115, a resolution authorizing the Director of Economic and Community Development to solicit statements of qualifications, SOQs, from qualified redevelopment firms to facilitate the redevelopment of the Pine, Maple, and Chestnut School property sites, and further authorizing the mayor, following approval of that Board of Control, to enter into a contract upon review and selection of SOQs.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Ordinance 2025-116, an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service to waive collection of sanitary sewer tap-in fees as otherwise required for residential development in Chapter 911 of the Streets, Utilities, and Public Services Code for the 51 residential units comprising property developed to be known as Forest Commons.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Ordinance 2025-117, an ordinance to allow the resurfacing of Lorraine Road SR 10 from 600 feet east of Stearns Road northeast to Canterbury Road, and install a mid-block crossing on Lorraine Road at the North Olmsted Library in the city of North Olmsted.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Resolution 2025-118, a resolution authorizing the transfer of $191,700 to CHN Housing Partners for the purpose of extending the city's Safe and Healthy Homes Repair Programs Fund.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Ordinance 2025-119, an ordinance to amend Ordinance 2025-86 to reflect corrected budget balances and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Ordinance 2025-120, an ordinance to make and transfer appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures for the city of North Olmsted for the year ending December 31st, 2025, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Ordinance 2025-121, an ordinance to make and transfer appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures for the city of North Olmsted for the year ending December 31st, 2026, and declaring an emergency as amended.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Thank you. Moving into scheduling committee meetings for Tuesday, November 25th, 2025. Councilman Scarl for Finance Committee meeting.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to schedule Finance Committee meeting on November 25th from 6:30 to 7:15. And I ask that the mayor, economic development director, finance director, safety director, and any other designee that the mayor wishes be present. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Lippert for Building, Zoning, and Development Committee meeting.
Thank you. I will schedule Building Zone Development on November 25th at 7:15 to 7:40 to address resolutions 2025-114, 2025-115, and ordinance 2025-92. Ask that the Economic Development Director, Mayor, and any of their designees be present.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Gilchrist for Streets and Transportation Committee meeting.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to schedule a Streets and Transportation Committee meeting for next week, the 25th. Yeah, from 7:40 to 8 p.m. And I request the Economic Director, the Service Director, the Mayor, and any other designees the Mayor decides to be there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Shimsky for Public Safety, Health, and Welfare Committee meeting.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to schedule a Public Safety, Health, and Welfare meeting for next Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, from 8 p.m. to 8:20 to discuss resolutions 2025-106, 111, and 112. Ask the mayor, the public safety director, and any other designee the mayor sees fit be present.
Thank you. And then Councilman Madden for Environmental Control Committee meeting.
Thanks, Mr. President. I'd like to schedule the Environmental Control Committee meeting at 8:20 p.m. on 11/25/25. discuss 2025-105 and 2025-113. Ask for the mayor and her designees. Thank you.
Thank you. With the agenda being completed and there being no further business to come before council, this meeting of November 18, 2025 is adjourned